Good afternoon, everybody. Please take your seats. Welcome to the pitch by Deel. This afternoon, you'll have the opportunity to hear from 35 innovative, amazing young companies, each handpicked from over 1,000 applications just in Israel. These companies represent the future of building, selling, and living. My name is Daria Fuchs, and I'm going to be taking you through this journey this afternoon. I'm a managing director at JP Morgan, and I lead the innovation economy business in Israel. And I have the pleasure to support, advise high-growth tech companies every day, which is why I'm very excited to hear from all these amazing companies today. The innovation and drive in Israel is unmatched, as you all know, and I'm so proud to be part of this ecosystem that not only survives, but thrives. So the pitch is an incredibly special initiative. Behind it is really a big vision and a deep conviction in the next generation of entrepreneurs. Some of you might know, but Deel started as a Y Combinator company, so they were in the same situation as a lot of these companies. And the Deel founders know what it's like. They know what it's like to have sleepless nights, to have doubts, and to work really hard. So today is an opportunity for those 35 companies to have the stage and have the exposure in front of all of you. Today's event is part of a world tour. This has already been in Paris, Berlin, London, and New York, and there were great successes. Next is Singapore and Dubai, and then the grand finale. The rules are simple. They're a bit cruel, so each founder will have 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes, and at stake are 10 $50,000 checks. Yes, those big, big checks. You'll see them at the end of the day. I think we wanted to show the sponsors for a second. The next slide. So this event couldn't take place without the amazing group of sponsors. So let's give them each a round of applause. And with that, I'd like to welcome Tom El-Khadif from the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange.
There's a lot of lights. Good afternoon, everyone. We are extremely excited to host this very important event here at the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment and connect you to the place you're all sitting in right now. We refer to this place as the heart of the Israeli economy, and for a good reason. On a regular basis, anyone who is a part of the Israeli capital market cross paths with this place. CEOs, CFOs, investors, both retail and institutional, banks, underwriters, all of them are in touch with us in a certain capacity. It's not a secret that Israel is a global hub for technology and innovation. Israeli companies are becoming increasingly global. They hire global, they sell global, and they compete on a global scale. A significant part of our attention is dedicated to solidify this inherited connection between the local capital market and the world in a process that we like to call the globalization of the Israeli capital market. As many of you know, the Israeli capital market has been going through a globalization process in recent years. We switched our trading week to align with global markets, and now we trade Monday through Friday. We launched an AI translation service to all Tel Aviv 125 companies, and we actively support global banks and issuers throughout their IPO process, dual listings, and other cross-border activities. In fact, in 2025 alone, we've seen an impressive growth of 70% in global investor participation in the market. On top of that, we identified that the growth is not only in quantity of investors, but also in the quality of them. Behind me is a list, slide. Behind me is a list of some of the global investors that are currently invested in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. Well, that's not the right one. Either way, this is the right one. Thank you. You can see that these are some of the biggest, most prestigious names in the financial world. Additionally, the Israeli capital market has gone through tremendous growth in recent years. In fact, we see a significant growth in almost any indicator we look at, from trading volumes, which almost tripled, to market caps that turned Tel Aviv 125 to the billion-dollar club. And of course, the performance that we all care for. The Tel Aviv flagship indices beat all other global indices in the world, both in 2024 and 2025. Now, despite these impressive numbers that keep growing as we speak, the market still has plenty of room for growth. Compared to global markets, we still see plenty of upside when it comes to retail and global investor participation in the market. Our efforts been, and still are, to support companies throughout their life cycle, from the pre-IPO stage, throughout the global or local IPO, follow-on offerings, dual listings, and maintaining relationships with global players. Now, more than ever, with rising interest of global Israeli companies in the Israeli capital market, and the raising thresholds for entry for tech companies to the US market, we find our position important and beneficial for all stakeholders involved. I want to thank you for your time and wish good luck to all the participants today. Now, I'm honored to invite to stage Mr. Philippe Bouaziz, the Executive Chairman and Chief Strategy Officer at Deel.
Thank you so much, and thank you for hosting us in Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. I will, but everybody needs to see me, so I need to move pictures. He wants me to stand on the light. This is tough. Sometimes, I need to see as well. So, hey, founders, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, you all want to be listed here, right? Unless you prefer Nasdaq, but these days, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange not so bad. So thank you so much. Thank you, all dear sponsors, and thank you to the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. I'm very happy to be back home in Israel and to host this event, as usual, packed. We've been used to be there with also Sarona, and it's so cool to see this vibrant startup ecosystem. It's like close to 2,000 startups that started application or applied and registered for this event. So in case of people think there is no startup in Israel, well, I can assure you that there is a lot, and the people that are going to pitch today, are really cream of the cream of what is done today in Israel, and we're very happy that we've been able to give, the chance to this company, proving again, what means to be resilient in Israel. Huh? We do business, we do startup, we create tons of IP, we are leading the world, and this is who we are. So, to my friends, founders, I remember I was in this room looking at my co-founders at Deel, Alex, my son, and Sho, pitching these 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes at Y Combinator. Way too long for us Israelis, right? And I remember, how much enthusiastic we were. Everything possible, everything open. Let's push, let's build. And I've been so happy to see that this spirit still here. And there will be some fight today, 40 company pitching, only 10 will win. And so The exercise of the pitch, is very important because you can make a nice deck, you can make a lot of things, but a founder needs to have clarity on what his long-term strategy. It can change. We can change every day. But at least at the moment where he will explain what is his project, it's so important to see that people understand what they are working on and what's their ambition. And it's also the opportunity to see, all about charisma and the enthusiasm they have and the patience they have. So this is all what we judges are going to work on today. It will be tough. I did a few. It's really tough, to say this one, not that one, but that's super cool. Anyways, very happy to see this room packed, and I hope you will enjoy. I did enjoy a lot, to look at all these decks. I hope you will like the selection. I think very various. Thanks again for being there. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe. So I think before we get started, in addition to the judges, if you can show the next page, there's these are the judges, our esteemed group of judges from all walks of the ecosystem, VCs, executives. At the end of the pitches, they're going to go to the green room and deliberate. So thank you all for being here. If you go to the next slide, in addition to the judges, one more slide, here, there's a QR code. The whole audience is invited to scan this, and you can upvote on Product Hunt as we go. So I encourage you all to participate. With that, and without any further ado, we're going to start. I think we would be amiss to be in Israel and not start with security and trust. One of our strengths in Israel. So from blockchain exploits, draining wallets in seconds, to supply chain breaches that ripple through continents, the threat surface has never been wider and never more unforgiving. Compliance frameworks are multiplying, regulations are tightening, and yet many organizations are still playing defense with yesterday's playbook. These companies are rewriting the rules of digital resilience. From proactive threat detection to legal grade certification, please welcome these 5 companies.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for the organizer, first of all. My name is Orel, I'm from Above Security. We redefine how organizations deal with insider risk. Historically, insider risk was like a good insider risk program was belong only for the 3 letters agencies, massive enterprises, and still, although they have massive amount of analysts, budgets, it took a lot of time to actually understand what happened after an incident. They have incident, then they start to investigation, and then they add a story, part of it. So they was reactive. Imagine what happened for organization without the ability to have a massive amount of budget to understand what's happening inside. What Above Security do, we have a fleet of AI insider risk analysts working 24/7 and understand the intent and the context about each one of your employees. When something becomes risky, we intervene in real time and prevent it for your safety. Another thing, in different domains, shadow IT, data exfiltration, flight risk, incorporate use, communication. Okay. We raised $50 million from prominent venture capitals, including Ballistic, Merlin, and Norwest. We are here to make insider risk, good insider risk, available for every enterprise. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Gurwitz and I am the CEO of Bond. Please raise your hand if your navigation app showed you the wrong location recently. Great, this is called a GNSS or a GPS interference. When it happens to us, it's annoying, but when it happens to a drone, it can be brutal. Drones like this crash every day around the world, and it's not only because military-grade weapons. Even I have a $55 jammer from AliExpress that can do the exact same thing. Now, GNSS interference goes all around the world. In the United States alone, there was an increase of 830% in jammer seizures at borders, and these jammers are illegal, dangerous, and nowhere to be located by the authorities. Now, GNSS interference happens everywhere, and no one can see it. In drones, robotaxis, and aircrafts. Bond makes the invisible visible by providing a real-time GNSS interference map down to the street resolution without any hardware required. We provide help for drones to re-navigate themselves under those interferences instead of crashing down. We help law authorities localize these jammers and lock up the criminals using them. And we provide a GPS weather map for operators so they know what areas to avoid. We exist only 8 weeks and we already secured 3 pilots with a leading drone company, the Israeli Farmers Association, and the Ministry of Agriculture, which reports $34 million in losses each planting season in Israel alone. For each drone that crashes, losses can reach up to $50,000. The drone company we work with already reports a 50% decrease in drone crashes ever since they started using Bond. 2% of the global GDP relies on GNSS-based systems, yet no one monitors it in real time. In the IDF, I was in charge of the GNSS interference, while my co-founder Tomer was the one trying to avoid them as a drone expert. Together, we are the perfect team to solve this problem. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. A 55-year-old widow from Munich was about to transfer her life savings to a person she met online. He told her he loves her. But fact is, he was a slave worker from Cambodia, from a scam farm. Now, she bought crypto for the first time in her life on an exchange and hit the send button. Luckily, that exchange was a client of ours, and we managed to identify the transaction in real time and block it. We also found out that it was a money mule with a bank account at a French neobank. That account was closed that same day. Never mind that. It is not a story that is unusual, because $40 billion were stolen in hacks and scams in 2025. And fintechs and banks like Deel and JP Morgan that are stepping in to the crypto scene, they figure out that it's a balance sheet issue. I had a call yesterday with the chief compliance officer of Deel, Anthony, and he told me about his challenges in that field. So that's where Cybers steps in. Cybers is the institutional grade threat prevention layer for digital assets. We already prevented, I repeat, prevented $800 million for our clients in potential client losses. We have processed $500 billion in client funds. And we provide one platform that has 3 engines: security, fraud, and compliance. Back the team that has already proven it can stop the next $1 billion scam. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Nuri from Superlegal. Nice to meet everyone. Superlegal is the world's first AI law firm for small and medium businesses. We provide businesses, small and medium, with affordable, easy, simple, cost-effective solution to review and negotiate their ongoing contracts. Okay, so contracting is a huge problem for SMBs. They handle contracts every day, but they don't have the expertise to handle it. When you think about it, the de-risk for an SMB is huge compared to an enterprise. If they make a mistake, they can lose their business. They can't close their quarter, or the deal might go away. Ironically, small businesses currently don't have a good solution for this problem. They are too small for hiring an in-house counsel, and they are too niche for a good law firm. So they spend their money and time either doing the work on their own with their non-lawyer executives or paying a law firm and getting mediocre service. AI is fixing all of that. It's really changing the way this industry operates. It opens the door for SMBs to get the service that they need, which means they can handle the ongoing flow of contracts, the growing number of contracts, more efficiently. To solve this problem, Superlegal built an AI law firm from the ground up. We have proprietary AI that helps power our solution. We received a special license to practice law as a technology company. We also built a lot of client-facing software to give them a digital experience, and we built the legal operations infrastructure to combine AI verified by human attorneys to give them a solution that they can really trust. All of this translates to very clear value proposition for SMBs. We're more affordable, we're faster, we're tailored for their needs, and we have lawyers in the loop. We have over $2 million of ARR, 70% gross margin, and we sell very quickly at 21 days. We're very excited about changing the world of SMBs with legal, which is affordable. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Richard, CTO of Rhino, and I'm here to ask you a question today. Let's figure out if you can find out. Which image behind me is AI generated? It's very hard to know. Actually, I forgot which one, by the way. But that's okay, because today, AI has killed visual proof. Today, with AI, it's almost impossible to know if an evidence is real or not. We can fake insurance claim, we can fake a construction site, we can even fake a delivery from Walt. And that's a big problem, because today the economy still pays based on pictures. Today, we've seen big frauds in the US with a $45 billion loss in frauds because of fake images and documents. And Rhino is here to solve that. Rhino turns every operation on the ground into a digital proof. Rhino lets you certify photos, videos, phone calls, and even video calls. All of this in one place. Every certificate you generate with Rhino has a legal value. Now, let's talk about traction. We launched Rhino with my co-founder, but we couldn't see him on the deck, I don't know why, 3 months ago. And we have a huge traction. We already achieved to 37K in MRR, and are fully bootstrapped. So now, if you want to join the trust layer of internet and stop the scams, take my number. Thank you, guys.
AI didn't just knock on our doors, it knocked them wide open. We are in an era where code writes itself, infrastructure self-heals, and creative assets generate on command. The winners won't be those who simply use AI, they'll be the ones who build the picks and shovels for this gold rush. These companies are forging the tools that will define how the next generation builds, deploys, and creates. Please welcome these next 7 companies.
Start. For the first time in software history, building is not the hardest problem to solve. Deciding what to build is. Nowadays, shipping is cheap. AI made everyone builders. Product judgment? This is still rare, still a constraint. Enterprises are used to spend millions of dollars building things nobody really need. AI now accelerates outputs, meaning that the waste is not incremental, it's exponential. At the same time, we're entering a new era, from humans building for humans to machines building with machines, artifacts flowing across systems autonomously. But the product development lifecycle hasn't caught up. That's exactly where Bagel AI fits in. Bagel AI is your product decision partner, a system that tells you what you need to build and why, based on real continuous evidence. We unify millions of data points across your systems, feedback, usage, your book of business, your development, and we built your agentic product brain for your company. It learns, it remembers, it improves, and it turns noise into high-impact decisions. So now your team doesn't just move faster. It moves in the right direction, shipping what actually matters. And it works. For the past year alone, we did 4x in ARR. We're trusted by the most innovative and successful companies in the industry like Tipalti, 8x8, Insider, even the platform themselves where feedback is born, like Gong and Freshworks use Bagel. We're a team of serial founders that felt these pains, and this is just the first bite of the bagel. Going forward, we are reinventing the entire product development lifecycle. So if you care about building the right thing, let's share a bagel.
Hey everyone, I'm Tzachi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FlyCode. FlyCode is helping merchants to accept more payments and make more money. And let's face it, who doesn't want to make more money? We are also a Y Combinator company like Deel. You probably all got a version of this email. Your payment failed, now you need to fix it. We also got it. One of our website services failed. A customer actually told us the card was valid, but we never got the email. And it's not just us, it's happening every day for every subscription, for every AI, for every app, for every B2B tool out there. Payments are failing every day, and the tools today from the platforms are really basic. Try every 3 days, send a few emails, and basically pray to save the payments. It's a huge market, more than $1 trillion a year, more than $1 billion of failed payments are failing every single day. This is what we do. FlyCode is failed payment on autopilot. We handle every workflow of your payment. We do the retries, we send the emails, we do adaptive cars, we handle the full life cycle of the subscription for you, and we are doing it globally for customers. And it's working. We are growing fast. We are 7-digit in ARR, 3x from last year. We are partners of Stripe, Visa, launching with MasterCard next month, integrated heavily in Shopify to support every subscription business in the world. I'm Tzachi from FlyCode, money in the bank. Thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm Anair, founder of Generate. If you've been living on LinkedIn, like myself, you must think that by now sales has become a playground. Co-pilots, agents, ASDRs, and Claude does the rest. But in reality, enterprise sales has only become harder and harder and harder. The reason is that sales is an agreement between two people who are not aligned. And in order for them to get aligned, they need to have the full context: relevance, causality, impact. AI, it's nice. It's a statistical satisfier. It doesn't close deals. So you need something different. And that's what we do. Military-level recon for enterprise sales. We have our own model. We have our own data. And we created this level for enterprise people. In a $1.4 trillion economy, even a marginal impact is $50 billion of business. And we've been able to work together as customers with Checkpoint, Amdocs, Sophos, Brex, and others. We're already at 400,000 ARR, and we're scaling quickly to 3 million by next year. Our customers enjoy a personal recon officer with their own signals, alerts, and priorities. They don't need to activate very complicated AI agents or scroll through a lot of manual work. They're fully briefed before meetings. And we already have a customer who closed a 7-digit deal after 2 years of banging their head against the wall. We are active on day one, and we scale as we grow. We call it a perfect first date and an even better marriage. We're a team of military, recon, AI, enterprise sales and management. We work together, we're all co-founders, and we love each other. If you're in the real world, work with Generate AI. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Oz Vidal and I've been a producer for nearly 25 years. So I can tell you firsthand that making a production involves hundreds of moving parts, including actors, locations, stunts, wardrobe, visual effects. All of this must come together to tell a coherent story. Yet all of this still managed today manually using spreadsheets, documents, and disconnected tool. The global film and TV industry spends over $200 billion a year, yet production is still slow and inefficient. Imagine is an AI-powered operating system for film and TV production, structured to bring automation to the entire production process. What used to take days with Imagine can be done in minutes. You can upload the script and get full production-ready plan almost instantly. But there is still a critical gap. AI can generate content, but it cannot run productions. With Imagine, this is exactly what we solve. We've already supported over 300 productions, saving thousands of workdays. We started by helping teams manage their productions more efficiently, but what we are really building is the infrastructure behind those productions. Because we sit at the core of the production process, we uniquely position to enable not just how we manage production, but also how content is created. This isn't something that you can shortcut or build with money alone. This comes from years of hands-on work in real production, solving problems that only emerge in real productions. And our vision to become the default operating system for content production worldwide. Already today, we help creators execute their productions more efficiently. And as the infrastructure of production, we enable a future where creators can choose how content is made, whether through traditional filming, AI assisted production, or fully generated content, all while maintaining full narrative control. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Arkady, the co-founder and CEO of Solar AI. AI is writing code. You hear it from LinkedIn, you hear it from your coworkers, you hear it from your friends, you hear it from your mother, you hear it from everyone. But who is actually testing it? Who is actually verifying that it works? So people in the industry had a great idea. We have Claude. Why not let Claude review its own code? Because agents never, ever justify themselves, right? What happened? Huge disasters. You all probably heard about what happened at AWS US East 1. Millions, even billions maybe, of dollars lost on an agent writing code and reviewing itself, and developers, they just let it pass. What does Saola do? We create behavioral ground truth independent of the models used to write the code. We capture real user session, real user behavior, millions of them, with millions of actions, and we map out the business flows of the application. Meaning, let's say, 100 users filled out a form, so we'll identify this process and then test it against the real truth, the real user behavior, and your real application. This is a sneak peek of Saola. Oh, yeah, the GIF is working, and you can see how it's really done. It's not part of the code. It's really real user behavior, like a real QA would test your application. Saola, we developed our own proprietary deterministic models. This is not a wrapper, developed from scratch, can be deployed on-prem, based on hundreds of terabytes of real user data, and we have real margins. We're working with top enterprises from medical, cyber, and fintech, and partnering with some of the best companies in the industry, like Matrix. This is the team of industry veterans. Thank you.
Almost every company in every industry relies on software. And AI just made building software a commodity. What used to be held only by engineers is now led by builders. Anyone could build. Well, that's true for new software. When we look at existing complex production software, they are far from being builder-led. They may have engineering using Claude or Cursor to code faster, but that's not what's going to make them win over the AI revolution. Customers today want control. They want personalization, they want customization, and they want it now. And that's exactly where MyOp comes in. MyOp is a pluggable layer designed for the AI builder era. We sit on top any existing commercial application, and we let builders vibe their own front end by using vibe coding tools, by keeping the system all secured. We connect builders' code into internal data, business logic, and backend. That means product managers, designers can build alongside engineers. It means that customers can customize their own UI and UX. It means that vendors and resellers can build their own front end. And eventually, it means that autonomous agents will generate their own UI in real time, all connected back to real software in production. Our customers are already adopting it. This customer transformed 100% of their front end to be owned by product managers. Last November, their marketing team generated a full campaign, and another customer outsourced their entire building to outsource builders. This is not theoretical. It's already work in production at scale with a bunch of customers. We're already live and ready to scale to become the ultimate layer that sits between existing software and any builder. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How come a pair of $80 sneakers has a 3D digital experience and a $1 million property doesn't? Real estate, the largest asset market in the world, is still built on static 2D. Hi, my name is Shlomi Haibi. I'm the CEO and co-founder of RealView. We are building the infrastructure for real estate companies to turn buildings into connected, interactive 3D assets. Now, I know some of you might think 3D real estate isn't new. You're totally right. But it wasn't affordable and scalable. Now it is. Our platform, unable to take any static real estate and turn it into immersive, data-rich 3D digital twin, fast, affordable, and at scale. Just imagine exploring any property, residential or commercial, new development or existing, in interactive 3D, almost like you are there in real life, before even stepping inside. We are creating a new way for companies to showcase real estate and for customers experience it. We are fully self-funded, and in just 4 months since last December, we have generated $500,000 in revenue, and we are scaling fast. The future of real estate is digital first, where every property will have a living 3D digital twin, and we are building that future. Thank you very much.
So let's talk about productivity. We bought the software, we hired the consultants, we did the workshops, yet knowledge workers still spend a majority of their time searching, summarize, context switching. Gen AI has cracked open the opportunity to collapse entire workflows into single prompts, turn meetings into actions, and give every single employee the leverage of an entire team. But the gap between AI hype and enterprise-ready execution is enormous. Welcome these companies building the connective tissue between AI and real business.
Hey everyone, I'm Elon Edstein, CEO and co-founder of GoPerfect. At GoPerfect, our mission is to build the first non-human recruiter. 80% of a recruiter time is basically wasted. They're spending time over LinkedIn, searching manually, going one by one over the candidates they are looking for, trying to connect the patterns about who is relevant, the company, the fundraise, whatever the data show, and using their human brain to connect those dots. Or they go over Indeed for job posting, and again, trying to find, hopefully, someone that will submit their position. Or they can always do manual entry of data into their ATS, their applicant tracking system. And there is always the fun part, the resume screening, which is 400 people apply, and you need to find the needle in a haystack and find the relevant 3. And there's the new trend, the fun part, fraud detection. People like to do GPT for their resume and to look for their next opportunity. One prompt, the entire pipeline in less than 10 minutes. This is a work used to take around days, if not weeks, depending on the complexity and the sophistication of the position. And what we actually done, beside the product itself, is to have the ability to look after 20 billion records in less than 30 seconds with LLMized results. That's the holy grail of our proprietary technology and what makes us so good and so accurate. 55% acceptance rate, that's a metric we're super proud of. That's what drives the entire usage in Perfect. And of course, it's compounding. Every hire trains the model, learns your hiring DNA, and makes the product sticky. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the day.
Hi everyone, my name is Ben. I'm the CEO and co-founder of ISO. ISO stands for AI Search Optimization. So today, as you probably experience, nobody is using Google anymore. Everybody is using ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude for the devs to search and find things. So today, nobody goes on Google to book their next holiday trip or to find a gift for their loved one. They just go on ChatGPT, which has a lot of information about them already, and find the answer to their questions. We come in and help brands, such as all across the spectrum, from shampoo companies to real estate, hotel businesses, etc., to be mentioned in ChatGPT and other AI agents. Our edge, the way we do things a little bit differently, is that we collect millions and millions of real AI human conversations, and we then use this fascinating object, this fascinating new marketing object, to make automated recommendations to brands. We've been operating over a year, 12 months, and we've done about $100,000 in revenue. We have like 300 active users on the app and about 10 enterprise clients. And those include companies like Uber, Intercontinental Hotel Group, and leading media agencies. This is my second startup. I've done a successful exit before in the data and real estate space. And my co-founder is also has experience managing data and applications at scale. Thank you.
Great. Imagine you are a bank. You have just deployed multiple AI agents to handle customer engagement processes. Initially, everything looks great. You have multiple agents, they are helping your customers with onboarding, with customer service, and your agents are conducting tens of thousands of interactions every day. But reality is complex and is ever-changing. You have new data, models are evolving, and your business directives changes over time. Without ongoing management, your AI agents are going to start to drift. They're going to start make mistakes. Some of them will go off the rails completely. Someone must manage them over time. Someone must monitor them and give them feedback in production. Someone must tell them about new products and about new policies in your organization. The question is, who is it going to be? At Avon AI, we treat AI agents like new type of employees in the organization. And we believe that in complex cases, those new employees must be managed, and responsibility lies with business teams and operations teams, and not engineering. Using our platform, business teams can gain full visibility and control over the life cycle of AI agents in production. Monitor them, find potential problems, find potential anomalies, fixing those problems and anomalies, and continuously test your agents to make sure they are still aligned with your business directives over time. We allow companies to tell agents how they should behave in production and actually make sure they do so, and no matter who built the agent. We are focusing our attention on the toughest cases, regulated companies like banks, insurance companies, health organizations, in which even a slight mistake can be very costly. We are deployed on-prem, and we are allowing our customers a new neutral control layer that is independent of the agent builders. We are deployed in around 20 companies, and we are deploying more and more each month. My co-founder and I have built agents before. Now we are building the crucial control layer that every company must have. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Davida, founder of Ilu, a platform of AI teams that build themselves for non-technical users. About 1 million people use Claude Code, and roughly another 1 million use agent builders, including Cowork and Vibe coding tools. And we see it everywhere. But when zooming out, those 2 million users are builders. Even if they don't write code, they have some technical orientation, and they represent only 2% of knowledge workers. So what do the other 98% do? They face two poor options: either buy a solution that never precisely fits their needs, or hire expensive developers. Ilu changes this reality. Our platform builds AI teams autonomously. Go-to-market teams and operation teams use Ilu very differently than how builders use Claude. They focus on the business goals. Ilu learns their context and KPIs, shadows their workflows, and launches AI teams that execute on those goals. And the AI workforce also course-corrects itself based on performance. You see, revenue and operation teams don't care about building agents. They care about hitting their KPIs. A sales rep doesn't want to fetch an API, and terminal belongs to the airport, not the technical environment. So we abstract the entire technical complexity and focus on RI so that our customers feel comfortable adopting AI teams. Their gain, growing the business without increasing headcount, and joining the AI leap without being consumed by complexity. Over 100 teams use Ilu, and more than 500 unique agents have been deployed. We are repeat founders who previously led R&D, sales, and marketing teams, and we have built a complex solution to make AI adoption radically simple. Thank you.
Last week, one of my team members came to me and said, Jonathan, you don't even understand what happened. I told him, okay, talk to me, keep calm, what happened? And then he said, the CEO of our neighbor company came here and said, hi guys, I want to scan Gyro QR code. And we let him scan his QR code, and after 2 minutes, he found $6,000 waiting on his inbox. And then he was shocked and said, what? Money that I didn't even knew that airline companies owned me. And then we said, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. And then he said, listen guys, can I connect you to my company because we are flying a lot? I told him, yeah, no problem. That's exactly what we are doing, individuals and companies. The CEO was shocked, and then he understood that last year, $50 billion owned by airline companies was unclaimed. And people said, okay, that's big amount of number. What's happened over there? 80% of people didn't even knew they have money on their inbox. They didn't even knew that airline companies owned that to them. In 9 days, Gyro made $1 million in claim with our platform. $1 million in claim in 9 days. Thank you very much.
Mental health is broken. Everyone here knows it because you know someone who is struggling. Teenagers, young parents, elderly people, 1 out of 8 everywhere in the world. 1 million clinicians are missing, long wait lists, therapy is expensive, not everyone wants to do therapy on Zoom. I know that because I was one of those clinicians. So people use ChatGPT. This is bad and dangerous for mental health. Kai is changing that. We supported over 200,000 people all over the world so far. We partnered with the APA, and we published clinical studies in the best journals in the world. This is actually working. Just a couple of weeks ago, we received the APA's Gold Badge for Ethical, Safe Conversational AI, the only one in the world to receive that quality badge. This is one of our research papers. We worked with over 50,000 teenagers all over the world, and the good news is that they are getting better by chatting with Kai. Kai is a SaaS platform. We don't replace clinicians. We empower them with a co-pilot. Kai works on any messaging platform or inside any app, and the clinicians have their own clinic management platform which they can use. Kai is safe, 24/7 human safety people, so anyone can use it without worries. We deployed Kai not only in the US and Canada, we deployed it in Russian and Ukrainian when the war in the Ukraine started, supporting hundreds of families. Since the 7th of October, we've been working in Israel in Hebrew, partnering with thousands of soldiers, students, employees. I can just give you two examples of a surgeon texting Kai before going into surgery because they were afraid of what's going to happen inside, or a young mom that Kai saved a few weeks ago. Kai raised only $8 million so far. We're a strong team of clinicians and technology experts, and I invite you all to join us on this very important journey. Thank you.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Alan Kamer, the CEO and co-founder of Navigage AI. There are approximately 65 million people age 65 and above in the US, and shockingly, 11,000 more people turning 65 every day. Yet, nearly 50 million people do not understand their Medicare health benefits, the federal program for health insurance for older adults. Why don't they understand that? The system is complex, very difficult to navigate, hard to understand, and very problematic to use and access the benefits people have spent a lifetime working for. The result? $350 billion annually going unclaimed and unutilized of benefits, and an additional $1 trillion of out-of-pocket spend on health and longevity, an average of $18,000 per older adult. Welcome to anticipatory healthcare. Navigage sees what others don't. We help people like Meredith, who fell and are in a hospital and unsure what to do next. We help her understand what benefits she has. We identify things like doctors, transportation, physical therapists, and more of what she's entitled to, how much it will cost her out of pocket, and how to claim those benefits. We also identify those products and services that she may need that are not covered and where to find the best prices and best products. At Navigage AI, we are building the information superhighway, connecting everything and becoming a central part of healthcare for older adults. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mona Cohen. I'm a four-time founder. I'm Swedish, Israeli, and Persian. I'm a professional paintball player, and I'm a mother. I've been a headhunter for 15 years, and one thing I know is talent.
Hi, my name is Johanna. I'm Swedish, half Japanese, half Korean, and I bring over 20 years of commercial scale, brand building, and go-to-market execution. I'm also a mother, but I'm also a former soccer player.
I actually hired Johanna to be on board, the world's most famous tennis player, 10 years ago. And so I spotted a super talent when I see one. And after a few months, she got the job as the global marketing manager. Headhunting is still running on a 1950s playbook. AI made it faster, flooded with fake candidates. Now you have 250 to 1,000 applications per role, 42 days to hire. Candidate fraud is up 1,300%. Gartner says 1 in 4 candidates will be fake by 2028. The pain points of CISOs and HR are facing the same threat, and nobody has solved it until now.
You heard her. That's why we are building Vera.
So Vera is an operating system. It's a talent relationship intelligence platform specifically for recruiting. We're taking the art of headhunting to scale.
Verification, sourcing, vetting, scoring in one system. It's faster, safer, and more profitable, with a machine precision and headhunters in the loop.
We're creating a new category, the intersection between CISOs and HR in recruitment, to protect and to make workflows faster, safer, and more accurate. And the next $1 trillion company won't sell software, it will sell the work itself. And that's our traction, and we signed our first investor yesterday.
How's everyone doing? You guys okay? I can tell you that we're just over halfway through. We have 3 more groups. So I hope you're keeping the energy up, because these guys are great. So some of you might remember sales used to be an art, gut instinct, charm, a Rolodex. But now top performing sales teams look more like data science labs. Every single signal matters. An email that went unopened, a competitor's page your prospect checked out last night, the subtle shift in language that screams budget freeze. These 5 companies are turning revenue into science with AI that sees what humans miss and moves before the window closes. Please welcome this 4th group.
Hi, my name is Lior, solo founder, bootstrapped, no equity raised. I live the exact problem a growing majority of founders face today. Building has never been easier, but achieving distribution has never been harder. And founders are expected to use the same old playbook in a reality that demands a new one. They need to grow in order to raise capital, but they need capital to grow. It's a catch-22. In the past, markets evolved to underwrite that risk when capital was the barrier. LLCs, angel investors, VCs, public markets. For each stage, a founder had a way to share the risk with those who could underwrite it. Today, distribution is the bottleneck, but there is no market or a way to underwrite that risk. We're building it. Product Link allows founders to launch distribution pools. Anyone who could match a product with its audience can earn. Creators, growth operators, developers who launch agents, agents themselves, they all know something the market doesn't, like angels for distribution. We distributed above 100 grand to creators, 12,000 users onboarded in a single season, all built by a single person and a team of agents, supported by Coinbase and Superfluid with grants. Distribution is turning from a funnel to a market, and Product Link is the distribution underwriting infrastructure. Thank you.
Hi everyone. The real economy runs on traditional industries that AI won't replace. They run on outdated software, often controlled by quasi-monopolies with tools that date back from the 2010s. We don't see the slide here. I think we have a small technical problem, but it's okay. Yes. So this is exactly why AI agent companies are limited. They add intelligence on top of outdated systems that were never built for it. That's why we started from scratch. Racor builds AI native ERP from day one, designed for human and agent. The software is not connected to AI, it is built around it. Because Racor is the central operating system, our AI has access to the full business context. That makes our agent far more powerful than a chatbot or regular integration. Let's take a few examples from what we've achieved since launching only 6 months ago. For a moving company, Racor turned a WhatsApp lead into a qualified quote in less than 6 minutes. For an insurance broker, it classifies documents, applies proprietary commission rule, detects fraud, and saves 50K per week. We partner with a key player in each industry, design the right solution, then scale it across the entire sector. Our model is simple: setup fees, SaaS subscription, and usage-based AI credits. Others plug AI into the old. Racor build the new operating system of the real economy. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a famous story about Forge River Ridge plant, where an engine did not work, and Ford's engineers did not know how to fix it. So Ford called upon an external engineer, Charles Steinmetz, in order to solve the problem. Charles was a legendary engineer at that time. He came, listened to the generator, and then quickly understood what the problem was, marked a big X to indicate where the problem is, and then told Ford's engineers how to solve it. A day later, Ford received a huge bill and was furious. So he asked for an itemized invoice. He received one with 2 lines: $1 for a piece of chalk, and $9,909 for knowing where to mark the X. That's exactly what we do at Seymour Data. We work on the data layer. We built a context engine enriched with algorithms and trained agents that identify cost, performance, and workflow anomalies, and then enforce the fix autonomously with guardrails so that the modern data stack is now as close as possible to fire and forget. Now, our customers love this. Oh, there it is. That's the X. So our customers, it doesn't work. All right. So our customers, oh, there it is. So our customers love this. Since we launched the product about 3 quarters ago, we've gotten to almost $1 million of ARR with Fortune 2000 companies and a 4.5 LTV to CAC ratio. We provide about 40% cost savings for our customers on their Snowflake environments. And you might be thinking this type of solution requires a team of extraordinary engineers. Well, that's exactly who we are. We are a team with about a century of amassed experience in FinOps, data infrastructure, and algorithmic training. So we're the team that knows where to put the X. Thank you.
Love it. Opa. Hey everybody. I know a client that holds a $2 trillion budget, never churns, loves long-term deals, and yet 98% of the companies you know will never go after them. I'm talking about the US public sector. Awesome. Where selling is slow, painful, and bureaucratic. In reality, a new B2B company entered this market will spend over $300,000 on consultant, on tools, on middlemen before they even know if they can win. In the reality is it's a locked garden built for incumbents, keeping great companies out. We're on a mission to open this market and enable great companies access this $2 trillion market by building a B2G revenue engine for B2B companies. Now here's the part that people miss. Procurement data is public. Every bid, every pricing decision, it's all out there, but it's buried under 90,000 disconnected systems and government portals. We unify the data and build a system that learns from every bid that we process. In that way, we can work backwards from demand to supply and identify with high accuracy the companies that can win but don't. Not because they lack capability, because they lack the infrastructure to compete. For those companies, what we do a revenue as a service model. We do everything for them, run the entire operation. We don't sell them software. We have only one goal for them. We win when they win. Let's take, for example, the cleanup group. A company that does pressure washing in Florida, $2 million in annual revenues, never did an RFP in their life. In 6 months, we almost doubled their revenue. Or Hawk Media, a $30 million marketing agency. In 9 months, we did $1.2 million for them, one in government revenues. We are building the next single outcome-driven layer, redefining the way government and companies access government revenue. Julian Beck just said that the next $1 trillion company will be a tech company disguised as a service. Thank you very much, guys.
Wow, wow, wow. So many pitches, so many B2B companies. But they all start their funnel, the marketing funnel, the pipeline funnel, with book a demo form. Typically, B2B SaaS companies spend 20% of their ARR to drive traffic to the website, to the digital assets, and only 2% fill it. 98%, when they come to the website, the first thing they see is stop. Qualification first. SDR qualification, seller qualification. 98% of our buyers do not go that process anymore. No, they would like to learn self-service by themselves. By the way, those are real customers, not tire kickers. Your ICP, real intent, decision maker, they are just not ready to meet the sales team. They just here to learn and explore. I am Idan Arieli, and together with Omri and Roy, we have 20 years of experience in building 6 global go-to-market teams, AEs, SDRs, and we felt the pipeline crisis firsthand, quarter over quarter. And we are here to fix it and solve it. We are Propello. Propello is an agent-led growth platform that redefines the B2B demand capture. We are not another AI SDR. We are not doing outbound automation. We take care of the 98% of buyers that are ignored today. AI agent, avatars that run the full buyer exploration from providing answer to question and providing Gen AI demos to customers. Not one-time chatbot interaction, but ongoing conversation until buyers are ready to meet sales or ready to buy. Thanks to Propello today, you can meet all of your buyers without the need to qualify them first. Thank you very much.
So we've arrived at our penultimate group. For those Israelis, penultimate is a fancy word for second to last. This group meets at the intersection of financial services and commerce. Our financial systems move trillions. However, reconciliation still takes days. The healthcare billing system is a black box of errors. Commerce has become a battlefield of attention, but our attention spans last a couple seconds at most. From intelligent bookkeeping to claim accuracy, from DeFi infrastructure to next-gen social commerce, these companies are unlocking billions in value. Please welcome these 6 companies. Thank you.
Now, hello everyone, great to be hosted here. So I'm Liam, CEO and founder of Hyperflow, which is a data infra company for blockchains. So as most of you know, blockchain data is a raw data built for security and not for querying at scale. But yet, there are more than 50 billion queries requests per day, most of them by enterprise and also blockchain startups. And it's also already impossible to query blockchain data as an SQL. There is a large gap in historical queries that can take hours and days because blockchain are huge data sets. For example, Ethereum blockchain include more than 8 terabytes of data. So then there is a kind of loop with the infra provider in order to determine the exact data that you want to index for the enterprise. So what we are doing, we are pre-indexed huge amount of data, more than 100 billions of logs, states, events, and then we connect to GraphQL protocol that enable to query exactly the data that the enterprise ordered. So the process goes from hours and days to less than seconds in historical complex data. So actually GraphQL help us to help our client to query data in one API endpoint instead of many, and on many chains, one of the benefits of GraphQL. Here we see some case studies of our first client that are going to production. So actually the stack is replacing 4 data sets in one.
Hi, welcome to a new era of accounting. For years, the accountants suffer from the talent shortage all over the world. 500,000 of accountants are missing just in the US, and millions globally. The fact is that 94% of the accounting firms identify the talent shortage as their first barrier to growth. They can't handle the workflow. And this is exactly where Verfi comes in. In Verfi, we not believe in scale with headcount, no more. We believe in scale with compute and LLMs. Verfi is an AI native CPA firm. We handle all the accounting workflow from A to Z, from collecting the raw client data to deliver a valid output. So hi, my name is Guy, and I am the co-founder and the CEO of Verfi. I come from a family of accountants. 10 years ago, I met my co-founder at the CTO of Verfi, Amit, during our engineering studies, and we've been working together ever since. After 5 years of building AI infrastructure at NVIDIA together, we started Verfi. With us, in the team, Nir, our VP R&D, and Katya, our domain expert and CPA lead. Combined, we have more than 50 years of experience. But it's not just about the human team. It's about the AI workforce. We have 2 main departments, the R&D department that handle the backend, the full stack, the product, but most importantly, the accounting department that handle cash, revenue, and audit. We already work with companies that handle billions of dollars, and we're just getting started. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ahikam Kaufman, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of SafeBooks. A company reached out to us after the Claude homemade AI agent wrongly billed and recognized revenue of $100,000. Finance teams requires 100% reliable and trustable AI in order to automate their processes. However, you can't get that from the models today because the data is fragmented across systems and how to link and reconcile. Do-it-yourself AI in corporate finance take months, breaks within a quarter, and lacks the essential systematic elements of integrity and accuracy of the data. SafeBooks AI is the first AI data platform dedicated for corporate finance that fully automates finance operations end-to-end at scale with 100% accuracy, integrity, and completeness, which is a must for finance data. Watch how SafeBooks deploys itself for a customer. It does not only capture your data, it understands it. There are transactions supporting documents, policies, and more. Start building your AI in finance with SafeBooks. SafeBooks today is powering finance operations in dozens of public companies. Thank you very much.
Hello and thank you for having us. I'm David from Bluespine. We are helping self-insured employers to reduce their second biggest expense. So let's start with a personal story. So this is Ido, my nephew. He was born in California, US. It was a very happy event in our family. But then my sister got a bill from the hospital, 6 figures, okay? And then it's become a tragedy. So we started to deep dive into that and starting to help her. We understand that 80% of the medical bills in the United States containing an errors, financial errors, and this is a very big problem for all the employers in the US. The TAM for this problem is big and constantly growing. We're talking about $500 million every year that's going just to fraud, waste, and abuse. 91% of the companies in the US are self-insured employers. So we are talking about the second biggest expense of every organization. The rise of the claim cost is more than 75%. The error rate is very high, and all of them are operating under the regulation of ERISA, and they have the fiduciary responsibility for the financial health of the plan. So every plan is different, and every employee is different, even the two are working with the same carriers. They have their own plans, and they have their own conditions. So until today, we are serving Fortune 100 clients, Fortune 500 clients. We were able to save millions of dollars for our clients. We are backed by leading investors from the Israeli market and from the US. Some of the case studies that we were able to resolve for our clients until today, we helped them to save millions of dollars, and we are doing that on a weekly basis. Pricing model, and this is it. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? Anyone is asking how are you? Everybody's about themselves. I wonder how are you doing. Great to be here. My name is Roy. I'm the founder and CEO of Zenaris, and together we are a team of 4 with combined 30 years of experience in M&A, investment banking, corporate development, and private equity. Now, I've been fortunate enough in my career to have gone through several M&A processes. As you can see, 2 of them were successful, and some of them, and you can see also the times we've been working on them, some of them unfortunately died. Now, let's talk a bit about deal reality. 1 of every 3 deals dies before signing. That's at least $50,000 in sunken cost of due diligence, and we have people in our team that have gone through $1 million due diligence processes. And so many work hours and labor force being wasted and sunken per deal team. So, what we've built, we've been in the past year, we've been working with all the major players that move the M&A market. Focusing here for you now is the private equity firm. And once we've been working with them, we've discovered something amazing that no one thought to look there ever. They have a lot of DD files, dead due diligence we call it. Essentially, for every partner on his desktop, you can see a list of folders that contains valuable information that no LLM can access, by the way. So we said, okay, let's take it and let's use it. Combined it with the information they provide us about their strategy and the dead diligence files, we created an engine that allows us to create all sorts of values. We started with, first of all, the target was up in an acquisition process, so we can provide them with buyer-grade due diligence report for their next potential M&A deal. We can go back to the buyers and provide them acquisition-ready signals for targets. We create a data exchange. We collect a lot of their diligence files no one has ever thought about utilizing or monetizing. We make them anonymized, we restructure them, and we provide access to an additional network, for example, an advisor network, to expand and find more deals and continue. Just a short illustration to give you an image of what was actually discovered. As you can imagine, some of these firms haven't upgraded their infrastructure for a while. Oh, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. Definitely not me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wanted you to see the team, but thank you. Sorry.
Hi everyone, I'm Shai, co-founder of ShopX. Did you know that 99% of e-commerce traffic doesn't convert? That's a huge loss of potential revenue. Brands create endless visual content for all their marketing channels, like Google, Meta, TikTok, and others. But after the users click the link, they all land on the same generic website. Traditional e-commerce kills the magic with too many clicks and long checkout process. Meet ShopX, a real-time commerce platform that turns every visual content into a dynamic, personalized storefront, enable brands to optimize revenue across all marketing channels. The results? Never seen before personalization. Brands using ShopX see 3 times higher conversion rate and 30% increase in average order value. We work with leading global brands like Victoria Beckham, Foot Locker, Daniel Wellington, and many others. Let's see how it works. When the users click the link, instead of landing on the traditional e-commerce, our algorithm analyzes the video, finds the featured products, and generates a personalized instant store with more recommended products and more social content ready for checkout in just 1 click. Like e-commerce on the fly, tailored for every customer. ShopX is an operating system layer between brands and every traffic source. Paid, organic, influencers, SMS, emails. Our vision is simple. There will be no websites in the future. We are building the future of e-commerce because every user have his own stores.
That's it. This is our last group. Very exciting. I can't believe we made it. Don't tell anyone, but this is actually one of my favorites. We stand at an inflection point where biology meets computation, where surgical precision meets holographic visualization, and where motion data becomes a diagnostic tool more powerful than an MRI. This unique group is where science fiction becomes clinical reality. Please welcome our last four companies.
Hi, I'm Jeff. Despite the incredible advances in AI, it still struggles to deliver breakthroughs at the atomic scale, like predicting how an antibody will bind to a protein in your body, or how modifying a molecular chain can make a plastic biodegradable. That's largely why breakthroughs still occur in brick and mortar chemistry labs through trial and costly, time-consuming experiments. Why does AI fall short? Because today's AI learns primarily through language and probability, relying heavily on what's familiar and came before it. Whereas a truly new molecular discovery, it's exactly the opposite. It's so novel, it's so exquisite. Language can't fully describe it yet, and there's too little data to distinguish signal from noise. At FreeCurve, we're doing something fundamentally different. We're building a physics-native AI world model at the atomic scale. We've developed a molecular simulation platform that integrates quantum mechanics and AI trained directly on first principles physics, the actual forces that govern how atoms behave and molecules are structured. This enables, for the first time, deterministic models that truly predict real-world outcomes. It's an atomic simulation layer that powers how drugs, materials, and clean energy are designed. And most importantly, it accelerates the transition from a brick and mortar chemistry to a virtual one. I'm fortunate to have incredible co-founders, including Nobel laureate Michael Levitt and Boris Fine. FreeCurve is backed by Hyundai Motor Group, and we're going to StartX, the Stanford Accelerator, this summer. Our first customers are in biotech and in clean energy applications. Thank you, Deel, for a really inspiring day today. I'm glad to be here.
Hi, everyone. We used to ride on horses, then came cars, and everything is changed. Materials are everywhere. I mean, we're conducting electricity with them, we are conducting heat, and so on. But they're old. They are like centuries old. Hi, my name is Doron, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I actually have one company that runs here. We were 3% up, so I was happy. Materials is always bounded by manufacturing processes. With EnsoPy, we created a manufacturing processes, a platform, but it's a mass production platform. We're actually unveiling a $1.6 trillion market. We're always saying, if matter will become programmable, we will redesign reality. And it will be fun, because who doesn't want to redesign reality? It's always physical function of material. It's hard. If you want to create a new material, it will be costly. It will be really, really time-consuming, and you will be needed to prototype for zillions of times, even with AI. I mean, this is what we do. We're not selling materials. We're actually selling advantages. And this is why it's so easy for us to sell to customers, because we are coming with unfair advantage. I will show you a secret. This is something that it's really transfers heat much better than any material out there. Our customer will get 80% lower capex. It will change the energy industry. And that's only one material that we are working with. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Adi Natan, founder and CEO of Motion Analytics, where we turn motion into identity. With me on the team are Professor Alziel Rimer, biomechanics and movement researchers for the past 20 years, Moran Gad, our CTO, ex-founder of Playermaker, and Noam Bardin, ex-Waze, who advises us. Together with us, there is a very strong multidisciplinary R&D team, and what we do is to build the large biomechanical model, foundation model. On top, our product, Motion ID, relies. And Motion ID identifies people by their movement. And it's now in stage of 2 paid pilots. After we already raised funds pre-seed, and now we are starting our seed round. So we have today millions of cameras, including thermal, infrared, CCTV, on ground, on air. But yet the problem is that when face recognition is required the most, it fails because people wear masks, darkness, rain, viewing, shooting angles, etc., etc. We are indifferent to all these conditions because of our concept of biomechanical signatures that, again, relies on biomechanics. So what we do is firstly to convert, and it takes us like 3 to 5 seconds, standard video, 5 walking steps from any standard video source, air, ground, CCTV, etc. And then we reuse this biomechanical signature to re-identify this particular individual on different places. We are in 2 paid pilots, as I said, and what we do is actually building atoms of movement, modeling them into physical AI, and that's how it works. Thank you very much.
$15 million people suffer stroke every year. For them, every minute counts. These 2 minutes could be the difference between walking out of the hospital or never walking again. On the left, you can see a patient with a brain bleeding. On the right, same patient, 3 hours later, now in coma. The head of neurosurgery department at Ichilov and our advisor showed me these similar images and said, if only we've seen it sooner. 80 minutes, that's how long it can take to get a head CT scan in the ICU. Then 6 to 12 hours until the next scan. In between, the brain goes completely dark. During this time, every complication costs thousands to hospitals, until now. Sorry. I'm Shir Kashi, CEO and founder of Ribbon Medical. I hold degrees across neuroscience, computer science, engineering, and AI. And our team brings decades of experience, 40 years in ultrasound sensors, 25 years in cutting-edge imaging algorithm, and also the former CTO of InsightTech, pioneers of ultrasound brain systems. Ribbon is developing a portable and safe brain scanner based on ultrasound technology that generate 3D high-resolution image that will be comparable to CT scan. It detects stroke and traumatic brain injuries at the moment they happen. But what excites neurosurgeons the most, it's a helmet. It could stay on, provide continuous monitoring, and alert the physician if something happened. In the future, it could extend to disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson as well. We raised $2.5 million. We're entering a $21 billion initial market. And recently, in a key milestone, we capture high quality signal from a real human skull. And with the full system, we will see the full brain. The head of neurosurgery, Ticholov, said, if only we've seen it sooner. We are building the sooner. Thank you.
That's it. We went through 35 companies. It's really hard to be up here, and I think the companies did a fantastic job. So please, let's give them another round of applause. I also want to thank the audience. You guys have been awesome. Please stay in your seats. The judges are going to go to the green room right now, and they're going to deliberate. So please go ahead. We're waiting for your answers. And while we do that, I'd like to invite Alex Bouaziz, the CEO and co-founder of Deel. Alex, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
How
wow,
was-
it's super bright.
Yeah, it's very bright.
All right. Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? All right, a little noise, not a lot of noise. I'm just gonna say, so far all the other cities were a lot louder, so.
What did you think?
Well, I arrived a little late because I had to actually work. No, but no, I thought the pitches were great. I think it's been amazing to see all the different events, and it's amazing to see how Israeli tech stacks up to. We've done 5 countries so far, so 6 countries so far. So it's very impressive.
Philippe talked about it briefly, but you presented at YC. You were in a similar situation. Do you remember those days? Do you recall how it was?
Yeah. Well, for context, I'm the CEO of Deel. We're hosting this amazing competition. We are, for those who don't use us just yet, we're a global payroll platform. We help companies scale globally. And yes, I was in their shoes. I will say it was a little scarier. This feels a bit homey. It's very cozy. It's very small. Y Combinator Demo Day is something that takes quite a toll on you because there's a lot of people and it's a machine. It's not 35 companies. It's 200 companies. So it's a lot scarier out there. But
the companies here thought they had it hard, but they might not have what to compare to. Right?
Well, to be fair, they prepare us a lot, right? Like, so they spend 2-3 weeks, apart from the fact that the program is 3 months, they spend 2-3 weeks really getting us ready for it. So, there is a delta there.
Did you, when you were pitching back then, did you ever imagine Deel would be where it is today?
No, of course not. I still can't believe where we are, and I still think that the fun part is, I think one of the things that we've done well and will always do is, we are a big company, but a small company at the same time. The way we think about things is we just want to build, we just want to have great customers and happy customers. So I think telling you that I had any idea what I was doing back then is probably a lie, and probably even telling you I have any idea what I'm doing today is probably a lie. So.
Talk about fundraising a bit. You're quite experienced in fundraising. You might not say so, but you've raised a few hundreds of millions. What would you say are kind of the 2 most important lessons you would take away from what you've experienced?
Cool. All right, so we're going to go all over the place, I see. So we're going fundraising. Okay. Well, first of all, I think fundraising is one of the toughest parts of the job. I think for every entrepreneur in the room, if you've ever fundraised money, it is, at least in my view, it's the worst part of the job. I'm an engineer. I like to build. I like to be, we're a fully remote company, so I like to be in my home office and just like code up stuff or design stuff or build stuff or talk to customers. Talking to investors is never the fun part of the job, but it's a necessary part of the job. I do think, we've done a pretty good job. We've raised over $1 billion in capital, so, we've kind of learn over the years on how to do different things. I do think every single stage matters a lot. I think I've said that multiple times, but when companies are very early on, they haven't raised a lot of money, my view is always, as soon as you can get some traction, take as much money as you can so you can go and build a great product until you get to the right product market fit, be super efficient and how you spend money, because the money is probably going to get you to, I would even say run your company, like you don't know if you're ever going to raise money again, and you know what, if you don't, it's actually maybe not a bad idea either. And then eventually when you grow up and when you become a larger business, my view, which has really worked well for me, so if it's useful for you guys, is always consider every single round of equity like you selling a piece of your company more than you needing money. And if you combine the fact that you're thinking, okay, like I need to run my company super capital efficient. I'm never going to raise money again unless I have to. With, well, if you want to buy equity in my company, you're going to have to show me that you're the right person for us. Then you just flip your mindset in terms of how you fundraise and you approach every conversation very differently. So every single time we raised around that deal, my thinking was, is it the right people? Is it the right partners? And do I want to sell that part of equity to them? And it worked out all right.
I think that's good advice. It's not about raising, it's about not raising potentially, or what you do with it. Looking back...
It depends on your industry, right? If you're an AI business, you probably should raise money, but if you're a B2B SaaS that isn't going to get completely destroyed, then, you know, yeah.
We'll talk about that too, but looking back, any kind of big mistakes fundraising?
I mean, I think every entrepreneur makes a lot of mistakes. I don't like to think that way because I think every single mistake we made is what got us here, right? Like you could always go, oh, you know, when we arrived to a Series A, we had raised a seed of $4 million. We spent, I think, $200,000 or $350,000 in total. Could I have not raised? Maybe. When we raised our B 3 months later, preempted, we hadn't even touched the money of our Series A. Could I have not raised? Yes, sure. But like, you know, in French, you say with ifs, you can remake the word. Like that's probably like the way to think about it. I think when it comes to fundraising, the most important part is not to when some of my investors would not agree with this because I made their life really hard, but not overplay on the valuation side, but really understand who do you have in front of you. Do you really want to work with them, and are they going to actually be... It's kind of like a marriage, right? Like your investors, at least the investors that invest at that stage, usually know that it's going to take you 5 to 10 years to get there. And I've been married for 4. I haven't even gotten to that with my own wife. So.
You touched on this a second ago, but with AI, do founders need more or less capital, and kind of how is that changing fundraising?
I think that's a pretty loaded question. I think there's a lot of different pieces to that. I think depending on your skill set, one of the things that has become very obvious to me, and I would say the last month and a half has been super fun, but actually super intense in terms of like what we've built. Maybe you guys haven't seen, but we actually released a standalone AI product yesterday called Akai, and it's doing like insane stuff. It's literally redirecting and fundamentally changing how we operate as a business. Like that product we built in a month and a half has automated over 100,000+ hours inside of Deel. And one of the things I've realized is just the cost of building software has gone down, right? Like whenever we were building, Ben Horowitz is one of our investors, very close to us because we're a big portfolio company of Andreessen. I spend a lot of time with him, and he was always very adamant around like you need to have the best product in the world, right? That's the best way to build a great company. Is like your product needs to be amazing, and I've always been very aligned with this. And I had a conversation with him recently where I said I agree with that, but now actually my mind has changed a little bit because the cost of building software has decreased so much, right? Because you can go so much faster than you could. That being able to go much more horizontal faster is something that you should consider. And then going back to your specific question, I think generally AI has changed the game quite a bit in terms of how you should build products. And if you can build a great product that's maybe simple, like a ChatGPT wrapper, then I wouldn't raise too much capital. I would try to get to cash efficiency and pray to the gods that OpenAI and Anthropic don't do the same. If you have fundamental, I've seen some very experienced PhDs pitching today, etc. If you have fundamentals understanding of the word in a way that's very different than your average ChatGPT wrapper, then yes, if you want to be able to compete, I would raise a lot of capital.
I guess from your perspective, I mean, you guys are profitable, but recently raised $300 million at a $17 billion valuation. Kind of what's the rationale of raising more money?
There's a few. The first one is I love Mickey. So if you guys know who led our round, it's a fund called Ribbit. One of the best investors, Nick and Mickey, that I've ever met. And the fun story is I've tried to make... I literally, I've never tried to make anyone invest in my company. It's the only people I've ever tried to make invest in my company since our Series A. I've been pitching Nick for 6 years because I knew how not only funder-friendly, but how much deepness and understanding they had in what the world is going to look like tomorrow. And this is the type of partners that I really want to work with. So the first obvious one is I really wanted Mickey on the cap table. Actually, we could have probably raised even at a higher valuation if we wanted to, which go back to my first point. But, Ribbit never invest in growth. It's just not what they do. So getting them to the table was very important for me, and even if that meant taking a pay cut in the valuation side. I think the second part is, if you followed our journey, we've raised a lot of capital until 2021. The last round we had raised, I don't remember the exact dates, was 50 million at 12 in 2022. It wasn't per se like a big round, but I think it was important for us to kind of remind the market of the unit economics and the business that we had built before. We're over 1.5 billion in annual recurring revenue, been profitable now for 3+ years. I do think there is some value into showing the market who we are and what we do from time to time, and press and funding never hurts. So.
And just being out there. But I think another angle, and you tell me, is I think you announced a couple of days ago the acquisition of Sastrify, and I think you've done 14 acquisitions already. How does the M&A strategy play in here, and how do you see that going forward?
I will say the guys at Y Combinator have better lighting, so they had it better at Demo Day. Actually, M&A, I think, is a very interesting topic for a lot of companies here, because I actually think as you're going to build vertical AI software, because a lot of people are going to do this here by design and riding that wave, I do think there's going to be a lot of acquisitions. Just because of the expertise that you're all going to build into the vertical that you're going to have, as companies are going to want to go and tackle them really hard. We've had a very unique approach to M&A at Deel, and the main reason is pretty quickly, and again, I'm not sure it's super relevant to most of the audience here, but pretty quickly we realized that I spent 5 years trying to deeply understand payroll and HR. It was going to be really hard for me to spend as much time understanding IT, immigration, all the different, we've done 14 acquisitions, right? So all of these different topics, and bringing people to the table that has spent as much time as I had doing payroll, doing those, was just a way to kind of shorten the gap in terms of how much understanding we have about this. And actually, funnily enough, I think AI is going to be one of the biggest game changer actually in M&A, now that you can migrate customers and code base so much faster. We had built a very unique playbook in terms of how do we migrate those products, because the last thing you want is we've done 14 acquisition, right? Kind of like a Frankenstein of different products kind of put together. We always wanted to have something super clean in the back end and one solution. And we've always had that playbook that worked out really well for us. And if you know how to do this the right way, I think you can really leverage acquisitions the way we have. And if you think about Deel today, I think there is easily 7 to 8 business lines that are doing 100 million plus in revenue, right? And a lot of that comes from the talent that we've brought from external and from outside.
Look, I think it's also relevant for the companies that presented here, but some of them, if not maybe many of them, will be acquired. Kind of, what's your advice to those guys who understand that's probably their path at some point?
So one of it's funny because we've done a few and we've failed some acquisitions, so I have some learnings from that. And it's always a very fun struggle, because at the same time you want to empower entrepreneurs to be able to build the biggest company they can. And at the same time, some people understand that, for example, being part of Deel gets you so much more distribution, and you can get in front of a lot more people a lot faster. So it's always this fun dynamics of when I'm talking to an entrepreneur, I want them to follow their dream and try super hard, but at the same time, I kind of see where they're going to struggle eventually, and I'm you're better off coming into the rocket ship with us. So the first thing I've understood is 99% of the entrepreneurs I talk to have no idea how to do math. When you tell them, hey, run your math, if we were to acquire you at this, or if you were to sell at 3 times this, having raised one round or 2 rounds more, how much money actually comes into your pocket at the end of the deal? Most of them actually don't go all the way there and don't really think through dilution as much as they should when they have M&A offers on the table. The second part is, what I've tried to do, and actually learned that from Philippe, is I think the best M&As are done when, and some people have different opinions, but when both sides kind of look back at the deal 3 to 5, 10 years later, and hey, that was the best outcome for both companies. And that's what we try to get to whenever we're working for an M&A. I think the last piece, which has always been super crucial with us, is how does that fall into our product strategy? And for example, right now, we've released an ATS, right? It's an applicant tracking system, and it's doing really well, AI first, and I've had 20 companies in the AI bubble kind of coming up with the exact same idea, the exact same product, kind of coming and talking to us. I do think a lot of people are tackling the exact same problem. So I do think right now, whoever is going to be smartest about M&A is probably going to have the best outcome out of everyone.
Let's kind of double click on AI a bit. just a fun question. If you were starting Deel today, in the world that we're in, what would you do differently?
Well, the easy answer for me is I'm actually doing this right now. So the fun part about Deel is, depends who you ask. If you ask my employees and my teammates, I am the definition and the embodiment of chaos, right? I come in and I disrupt a lot of the work that they do, which is always a pain for them. But usually it's for good stuff. Most of the time it's for good stuff. So I would say that actually Deel is being rebuilt from within as if we were an AI first company. And I think the last few months have really showed me the difference. Obviously I'm very biased, but the difference between a founder-led company versus an executive-led company, an external executive-led company. The pace at which today I'm able to kind of like take a step in, and we've done some really big changes internally from moving from a IC to manager ratio of like 1 to 15, like we're trying out teams of 1 people. We've built some crazy internal products, so good that we actually decided to sell it outside of the Deel ecosystem. So like we've really been able to redefine how the company is being built at a very foundational level, and I think a lot of that has been just transparently, like me and my co-founder being able to dive really deep into building stuff ourselves. And one of the cool things is over the last few years, I was always told, Alex, the company needs to scale. And maybe I'll regret what I'm saying, but Alex, the company needs to scale. You're a bottleneck on X and Y and Z. Like you need to scale yourself. And I think like actually this whole wave has really empowered most entrepreneurs, no matter the scale, to really kind of come back into the ways of the company and really change how like some of the fluff that happens as you grow the business really happens. And I'm having probably the most fun I've had in like the last few years. So.
One of the senior managers at Deel in the London pitch mentioned that you give them all a very hard time if they're not using enough AI, and so it's...
No, so I have a different approach to this. The thing is, it's a lot easier to get a team of 20 people to lean in really hard. It's a lot harder to get a team of 7,000 people to lean very hard, right? So, and my view is like, I think there has been, and I'm sure some of you have felt it, like a significant shift in the last 2-3 months in terms of technology that really happened in terms of what's available to us, right? So my point was not, so we've kind of done something, I actually think we've done a pretty decent playbook where we've gone and we've said, okay, now every single person, which not every company does, right? Like every single person now has access to Cloud and has like X amount of credits that they can spend on a monthly basis. And if you need more credits, come and ask and we'll get you more. And getting a 7,000 people organization in like a couple weeks to switch from how they operate into that is super complicated, right? But being able to do this and pushing it, it kind of has to be top down. But on the other side, like when they do get it, you just get so much more goods out of your team in terms of how much they can ship, how much they can build. And we kind of wanted an approach where everybody's on an even playing field, right? Like I think the best people in the world today are going to be the ones that are the most curious. And the most curious people are not per se like the managers at companies, right? It's often like the IC that's seeing the world in a different way. And it was important for me to kind of like even out the playing ground because I want everybody to have a shot at Deel in the future of the company and how we're building. And now that we've done this for a month and a half and we've kind of built a lot of the tools around it, and because I've been so pushy, you don't really have an excuse anymore, right? So you kind of need to really lean in terms of how you build. And I think there is no matter which department you're looking at the company, there is no doubt that how we operate has completely changed. And I think it's important to give people a shot to really be part of that. And that's, I could have totally taken 100 people in the company and just like narrow focus on them, but we really wanted the whole organization to follow through. So,
in this world, when 3 people can kind of come together and establish a company with very little resources, what is the moat kind of for a company like Deel?
Well, for us, I want to see 3 people connect into the Brazilian pension ecosystem or I want them to establish 300 plus entities around the world and have some very deep understanding of like payroll and finance and HR. So I think on that front, we're pretty lucky where there's just a lot of like genuine infrastructure that's very hard to replicate. Plus, I think we still, although we're working and we're leaning in very hard, there's still some layers where payroll has to be super accurate. So you wouldn't just yet completely leave it up to AI. I think the second part is, it's a much deeper conversation, but a couple of years back, we kind of had a view of like, what does a system of record look like today, right? Like this big conversation around like what are system of records, like a Salesforce, like a Deel, right? And how do they you know, a lot of people think of system of records as like very moty, because when you are a company and you're using a product, well, you know, you don't want to change payroll provider every day. You don't want to change HR provider every day. You don't want to have to migrate employee data from 7 years ago and stuff like that, right? And one of the things we did at Deel pretty early on, which actually ends up being really useful for us, is we built API first, right? Because we built a business that is very, I like to say, like unbundled and bundled at the same time, meaning I can sell you payroll in Australia or an employee in a country, or I can sell you the full stack of HR. We basically built our products so that they fit within the stack of our customers, right? And it was super important for us to not build a closed ecosystem where people are forced into products, but more something that they can actually decide, hey, I want X, I want A, I want B, I want C, right, in a couple of minutes. And in that whole process, we kind of built a product that is API first, and I actually think the word is going to be, I don't know, but I think the word is going towards a motion where companies are going to start, quote unquote, vibe coding or building the things that they want to own, and they want access to APIs for the things that they don't want to own. And I think HR is going to be in prime position for that. And we want to be able to say, okay, you want to own performance review, no problem. Here's the APIs to do learning or to do payroll. You're running out of questions already?
No, I have a lot more, just so you guys know. And you know.
I have been told I answer a little fast, so.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm prepared. You guys have 7,000 people, and I don't know if everyone knows this, but Deel is like a fully remote company. Like
yeah, 7,000 people, 120 countries.
No, no offices. I mean, like, how does it work for people that don't know you guys?
So we started like this. So I've never worked in an office. I spent my youth taking the subway 45 minutes way in and 45 minutes way out to go to school. I'm kind of like the engineer that likes to roll out of bed and build. And when we started building Deel, a combination of my laziness to go to work with the fact that we couldn't afford engineers in the US or in Israel made it that we hired people from, I think every single company in Israel actually used to hire people in Ukraine or in other places like that. So we're very aligned with that. We just kept that culture of building, hiring globally. And we kept on doing, like we never really thought, hey, we need one place, one central location where everybody needs to go. Now, we do give WeWork memberships to people. So if they want to go to, it's very funny because if you go to Paris or if you go to Madrid or actually sometimes even Israel, like you'd go on Slack and you'd see like all people in like Deel London that say, I'm going to the Covent Garden WeWork. And then so you go to that WeWork and there's like 150 people from Deel. It's basically our office without WeWork really realizing. And I think what we do have offices from acquisitions. Like I've had some amazing companies that decided that they wanted to take leases for 10 years. So until I can shut them down, I have an office in Berlin if you ever need.
So I mean, how do you run that? I mean, how do you run a company like that day to day? How does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as complex as people think. Slack is our office. Everything is done on Slack. It's kind of like our system on record on that front. We do offer, a perk called Deel Travel, which is like budget for people to go visit each other. We do like one big offsite, like 2,000 plus people, and 2 leadership offsites, 50 plus people coming in. We do allow people within their team to do micro offsites as well, and that works really well. I think it's really part of our culture. Look, I think there's trades-off, right? Like if you can get would I want all 7,000 people in a room with me? I'm gonna say yes, because I like them all. But at the same time, the trade-off I get is like I get to hire the best person in the world, regardless of where they are. I have people on my team based in Egypt, in Australia, in Sri Lanka, in Ukraine, in Poland, that you would never hire because they're not in your office. But I get to have the most talented people in the world work at Deel. And it's been really amazing for the last 7 years. Sadly, some people are starting to realize, so they're tripling their salaries, which is fun but complicated.
But what do you think has led to the success of doing that? Because it's not easy, and I don't think most companies can do that. There must be something very unique in the culture.
I think culture always goes top down, right? It's not easy. I think most CEOs are control freaks. I'm a control freak, but I don't need to be next to you to be a control freak, right? And I think a lot of people feel like the only way to get people to work is putting them next to them and working with them. And I don't have that feeling, right? I feel like I trust my team to be able to do their best work. And I think it's shown over the years that if you hire great people and if you empower them and give them the ability to do their best work, then they can do it. And again, don't get me wrong. I wish I could see my teammates every day if I could. I just think the trade-off is so much more valuable that it's just been anchored in Deel's culture.
And if some of the companies here wanna do that, like from day one, like any recommendations on how to go about it?
I mean, my very simple recommendation is like stop overthinking and just run your company, right? Like, again, I think very early stage, there's a lot of value in being together in a room. I think eventually, I've said that multiple times, when you're 7,000 people, if I'm working on the first floor, you're working on the 7th floor, we're already working remotely to some extent, one to another.
There's been some viral screenshots of you responding to clients on WhatsApp and LinkedIn. You have this very client-first approach. You know, how does that shape Deel's DNA?
Well, I think every company wants to be client first by design. I think we kind of took it to the next level. The main reason is how we operate as a company. Like, I think our customers have always shaped our roadmap and how we work. I think we came into a space that was very disruptable. And the best way to disrupt a business is just to spend a lot of time with customers. So I would advise every single entrepreneur to have like as many conversations with your customers as you can. We have 3,000, probably more, Slack channels with our customers at Deel, where anything they need, they can talk to us directly. And I wouldn't say I'm in all 3,000 of them, but you're probably in 500 plus of them, and that just gives me so much visibility, right? Like if I can know specifically at this scale of the company, right? Like there's 1,100 engineers at Deel today. There's like 1,500 people in the product and engineering team. I don't have a chief product officer. I'm the chief product officer of the business. The ability to see what my customers are complaining about, what my customers are suggesting is super, super valuable. And at the end of the day, like the way I think about this, and I think most entrepreneurs do, it's also why my sales team never lets me on sales calls. It's the only thing that drives me. The reason I'm building Deel is that I just want people to use our product. I want them to give us feedback. It just brings me this type of joy. It's probably the main driver actually for my work. And the only way to get that joy is actually if I'm spending time with customers.
Yeah, I just think some people are, scared of the feedback, I think, and they put up the blinders and they don't even understand, right? That.
I mean, if first of all, if someone is willing to give you feedback, that's already pretty cool. That means they care enough to give you feedback. The worst are the ones that just churn off and never talk to you. So I think feedback is a gift, and you should spend as much time as you can with customers. I think at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur, and I've been guilty of that myself in the first few business I tried to build. The worst thing you can do is lie to yourself, right? Like thinking one more feature, one more thing. Oh no, this customer is completely wrong. Of course, one customer doesn't have always the answer, but like, a generality of customers usually directs you into the right direction. And the worst thing I've done is like not listen to my customers and thinking, no, but if I add that small features, it's going to change the game. It's going to make the company great. And that's probably the biggest trap for every entrepreneur, because you have so much conviction and believes in what you build. Being able to have strong opinion weekly held is something that has changed me in terms of how I work, and something that I would really recommend to most people.
You're running a global company. You're hands-on with your clients. I've been told that you're also a very present father.
Well, I work from home, so
Is that the secret?
I get to see my daughter every time someone annoys me and I want to get out of the office.
So is that the secret? How you do it? I mean, like, how do you juggle? I mean, you've employees all over the world. You're traveling a ton.
I think there's trades-off, right? I think if you want to ask someone, probably ask my wife. She's outside. She'll give you the real answer. But the thing is, the thing is, I see my work as my life in many different ways. I enjoy what I do, which I think most people that are very passionate about what they do really understand. And I'm lucky to have a family that's very supportive and that understands. Well, she also understands when to make me stop, which is also a good thing. I've had my phone taken away many times. But look, I think if you're very passionate about what you do, you get to things that you do on a daily basis don't feel like work, right? And I'm very thankful for the ability and the family I have in order to be able to do this. And so far, it's worked out. So we'll keep on doing it.
You've been building through a lot of uncertainty. I think this event was rescheduled 3 times.
I will say I cannot take any credits in this event. I like 0. I'm very happy the way it turned out. But I don't know if you've seen Alice, Philippe. They're the masterminds. I'm just paying the bills. So.
But you are building through this uncertainty that we've all kind of been through. Building from and choosing to build from Tel Aviv, living in Tel Aviv. How do you maintain kind of a business as usual focus for you and the team?
Well, first of all, myself, yes, like my team is all over the world, right? So sure, there's a lot of wars happening here, but trust me, when you're running a company from 120 countries, there's a lot of things happening around the world that you guys don't know that are always pretty bad.
No, but you also have employees in the Middle East.
Yeah, for sure. I have people all over the Middle East, I have people all over the world. My point being more like, obviously what's happening in the Middle East is something that's very on top of mind for people here and for myself, but there's also things that are happening all over the world that are very impactful. And I think we've done, personally, there's nowhere else I would live. So yes, my board members, I should move to San Francisco. I probably should have moved to San Francisco 7 years ago, but I think one of the way we've built Deel so far has always been against conventional wisdom in many different ways, right? Like, you can't go global first. Well, okay, we did it. You cannot run a company fully remote. We did it. You cannot build a as I've showed you, you can, but you cannot build a $20 billion plus company from Tel Aviv. You got to be in the US. So I think the one thing I would say from here is we've always kind of stayed true to what we think is right, and that has paid off for us. And I agree, uncertainty is never fun, and it's not the best environment to build when you have a lot of things happening at the same time. But I think, honestly, people here are very resilient, and the default optimism is one of the core value of Deel. I think the default optimism is what helps you build great companies and great businesses throughout uncertainty.
I think we're seeing a lot of CEOs and companies kind of move early stage, and I think a lot of that is coming from investors, and I agree with you that...
I think building a company from San Francisco is amazing. I think you can get so much more done. I think you get to meet so much more people, so much more potential customers, so much more potential investors. But I think the best way to build a business is for you to be happy in how you're building your business. And I was not specifically happy in San Francisco. I don't exactly love the city. I think it's an amazing city to visit, but to live is just not where I thrive. I think you're better off enabling myself, in that case, for example, to be in the conditions where I thrive versus putting me in a box where I know I won't be able to do my best self and my best job.
I have a couple more questions, but I think we wanted to open it up to the audience as well and see if anybody wants to ask a question.
Sure.
You can raise
You
your
did run
hand.
out of questions, huh?
No, I have a few more in my back pocket, but I want to give the audience in case anyone's interested. I see someone over there. Efrat.
Hey, great seeing you, and an amazing day today. I think my question, after hearing all the complexities that you've been talking about, is what is the key driver? Like, if you look at the success of where you are today, which part of that is management, which part of that is culture, which maybe comes together, which part of that is the product, it's the learning?
Thank you. Great question. The truth is I don't know, right? Like, what I can tell you is I think the number one factor of why we're successful is my team. Across the board, from my ICs to my leaders, I think I'm very lucky to work with amazing people. There are forces that are pushing through, that don't take no for an answer, that bear with the crazy stuff that I come up with from time to time as well, right? So that's probably the number one success. I said something to my board one day that they loved and hated at the same time, which was, if you give me my leadership team and some of the people that I know at the company that are amazing, I can, and not in an arrogant way at all, but like, I could probably crack any other market and build a big company in any other market. So make it that culture, whatever you want, but I think the combination of those people is probably what makes Deel a force.
Amazing, although it does raise kind of a thought about AI replacing people when...
I would love AI to, instead of replacing my COO, make me 20 of him. Then I would, my life would be great.
How do you hire such great people?
Well, first of all, if you hire globally, you have a much bigger net. So, I would suggest doing that. Look, I think it's a mix of different things. We're very lucky at Deel where people are aligned with the vision from the get-go, right? I don't need to convince you when you are my director of operations in Egypt, where there's not a lot of opportunities. I don't need to convince you that Deel needs to exist and that you want to create more opportunities for your people in your country. So it's a very mission-aligned company where people, they come here, of course, they want their shareholders and they want the business to do well, and it does really well for their CV. But at the very core, I think a lot of the people we hire truly understand why we exist, which is already a huge part of our hiring process. I think the second part is, look, we're very honest, right? Deel is probably going to be the hardest work you're ever going to get. I mean, there's some people in the room, so you can ask them what they think. The hardest job you're going to ever get, but also the place where you're going to be able to learn the most, going to have the most ownership as much as you want it to be, and you're going to just generally be able to move really, really fast. And I think there's different stages in life as well where you're looking for this or not. Being able to understand, like, is this the right thing for you? Is this the right moment for you? Is something that we spend a lot of time on during our interview process. But if all the stars align, I think people can really thrive.
Anybody else have a question before my last question? Over here.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, over there. Go ahead.
Hi. Thanks a lot.
Sorry, I can't see you, but I'm sure you look great.
Sorry. Where is it better?
It doesn't change. Just ask your question. I'm like blinded.
No problem.
Blinded by the light.
First of all, thanks a lot for today. I'm a friend actually. We work with Deel. Deel is one of our partners on the revenue side in France. So I've seen a bit how you work on the revenue side. I just wanted to ask you a bit of a technical question. You are really like toward action and you decide really fast at Deel. I've seen that from within. My question is, what is the most expensive decision that you still take today at Deel that is more based on intuition rather than real simulation of the exact consequences of your choices?
Yeah. You mean intuition versus data?
Exactly, because
Yeah, most of my decisions are intuition driven, but I have some people that are smart at doing data decision under me. I think when you spend a lot of time with customers and when you have a very deep understanding of market, the best of both worlds is that your intuition is usually right. So I would say the people in my leadership team are significantly more data driven, which is really great for the business. And I would say most of my decisions, I get validated through data, but by the time they're already done with the validation, they're halfway through building it already.
By data, do you mean that they check the historical data or they really simulate what's going to happen in the future?
No, I don't need to simulate anything. I just talk to customers, right? Like, would you buy this if I did like that? Here's some prototypes, here's some designs. Would you do this? Would you want to do that? That's the best way to get validation. You do it across 20, 30 people. And whoever is telling you that that should take a month is wrong. You can probably line that up in like a couple days. Okay. I mean, my CTO just walked in the room right now. He can tell you that most of my decisions are intuition more than data driven.
Is that true?
See?
Whatever he said. I guess, what's next for Deel in terms of product, in terms of, you know, you guys, do you imagine you guys doubling? Are you going to raise more money? Are the public markets in your future? What can you tell us?
Well, I mean, the first thing is we've gone through quite a change over the last few years, going from a 2-product company to 15+ product company. I think a lot of the work we need to do is just make this whole infrastructure really, really, really good, which we're working really hard on doing before we can add new products, and we're very excited about that too. As I was saying, we just released our first product, which is an AI product and a standalone product yesterday, so I'm excited to see how that goes. But generally, look, I think we're still very much at the beginning, right? We are 1.5 million people getting paid on Deel, on their payroll or the different products that we have. What I usually love to tell my investors is like, would it be crazy if I was to say 10 million people would get paid on Deel within the next few years? And you know, if you have any consumer background, you'd probably say, no, that's probably right. And you know, 10xing the number of users we have is 10xing our revenue, is 10xing our impact, which is what we want to do as a company. So that's what we want to do. And then, you know, when it comes to fundraising, public markets, we'll see. We are very lucky to be only 7 years old as a business. We just turned 7. We're very lucky to have grown 65, 70+% over the last few years whilst being quite profitable. So, you know, all of the stars have aligned that I don't have any gun to my head to do anything like this. I can actually just focus on building the business. And I'm actually very thankful for my board and my leadership team for just being focused on how do we deliver the best value for our customers and just improve the business for them.
Great. Thank you so much for your openness.
Thank you for being here.
We good? Results. Do we have an envelope? How does this work? We have an envelope? Philippe, do you have an envelope? It's coming, it's coming. Oh, there's a phone. Here. Philippe is back on the stage. Is Alice coming on as well? There she is, over there. Maybe she doesn't want to. I don't think she wants to.
Okay. So that's the time. And this is Alice.
So I think first news is right. Instead of 10 companies, I understand that they couldn't figure out only 10 companies, so there are actually 11 winners.
Yes. You know, at Deel, we always want to make plus. Always more. That's the idea. You know, it's like a budget. You know, at the end of the year. So yeah, I was saying this is Alice. Alice is the big boss of this project. 7 regions. She executed already like 100, almost 120 startups qualified, and she had to deal with almost 200 judges, which was the tough part. So yes, a lot of very, very good startup, and it was difficult. You know, we've been discussing a lot on a certain number of companies, and so yes, we have 11. So the big winner, number 1 winner, is
Reborn Medical.
No, it's not coming.
Congratulations. Thank you. Congrats. There you have it. This is yours. It's on the right side.
Think about it. Soon you will have Deel money.
You want to say anything?
What? Thank you very much for everyone.
Yeah, this is your check.
So we promised you big checks. So
Bigger than Monopoly.
You can amongst all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the second one, the second one was a difficult choice. Super legal.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for Deel. Thank you for all the wonderful participants. It's been a blast. Thank you.
So the third one in the category of accounting.
SafeBook.
Thank you. It's been an amazing experience, and Deel is an amazing company. We are a customer. Thank you so much.
Good.
Okay, it's yours.
Oh, yes. Okay, so for the next winner, the name is?
Avon.
Avon. What is it? Appetite. Appetite. Avon, comment bêter Avon?
That's for you. Congratulations. Thanks.
Monsieur Chen, Mazal Tov.
Very much. I need to ride my bikes with this right now.
You can give it straight to JP Morgan. They are here in the room.
No, thank you very much.
The next one, I think, is one of our favorite names. Do you want to say it?
Ah, yes. The next one's for me. After Bete Avon, we have Begel.
Thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to see you in 2 weeks, right?
And yes, he's right. All the winners of the regional, semi-final are invited to Dubai for the not Dubai, but Paris now. Paris for the grand final. Okay, so who is the next winner?
Next, our sixth winner out of 11 is Bond.
Opa.
Hello, congrats. That's for you.
Thank you very much, guys. This is very exciting for me, and it's my first speech ever.
It was a good one. Okay.
Next, number 7.
Cybers.
Thank you guys so much. It was an amazing experience. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So for the next one, I'm going to call David. David, who organized all these events from A to Z. He's going to be the one giving the check.
I'll take from him. Hi, guys. Good to see you. For the next one,
Number 8.
Sled.
Thank you, everybody. It was amazing. Looking forward to Paris. Yalla Maccabi.
Okay. So, 9. We're almost there. And 9 is Kai.
Thank you.
You can speak. Say something. You're okay. Congrats.
Number 10.
Wow, number 10. This is for you, this one.
Happy to do it. Above Security. He had his jacket on. He was going to leave.
Hey, congrats, brother.
There's a mic for you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Yes. It's okay.
And our very last one, Philippe.
The very last one. I heard about the very last one that one of our judge said, I like them so much, I'm going to be a design partner. Wow. So this is convincing, So the very last winner, the one we couldn't refuse, my hope.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this competition and for giving opportunities for the Israeli founders. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming. I think Israel was probably one of my favorite pitches of them all. Thank you to the judges, thank you to all of you that applied, that came, that pitch, and for all of the one that just said. And see you all in Paris.
Thank you so much.
And please join us outside. We have some refreshments and a toast. Thank you very much, everybody.